everyone. This is Lisa Espinosa, spiritual career coach, author, and host of the podcast Soul Studio for Your Career. I'm so excited to be here with you on this new moon. Thank you and welcome all of you who have connected with my work before and all of you who are connecting with me for the first time. I'm so honored and delighted to be here with you. So, today's topic, the title of today's Facebook Live is The Courage to be a Wisdom Keeper. So we're going to talk about that today, what it means to be a wisdom keeper. Why does it require courage? Why is it so essential right now? And why, if you're watching this, it means you're being called to this path, to this beautiful sacred role. So before anything else, let's go ahead and open our circle with a beautiful invocation. And okay, sorry, Facebook Live's giving me a message. All right, Jan, hello Jan. So let's go ahead and take some nice cleansing breaths. Good morning, Lorenza. And really let yourself be in this moment. Visualize the new moon. And of course, the new moon is the dark moon, right? So seeing that womb, that dark womb, that fertile ground. So connect with that energy of new beginnings, of infinite potential and possibility, of rebirth. Hello, Lori. So connecting with that energy as you bring your awareness to your hips and your pelvis, your knees, ankles, and feet. And visualize those beautiful roots going down your legs, out the bottoms of your feet, deep into the earth, right into that rich, fertile earth. And as your roots are connected there, go ahead and set the intention of releasing anything that's unnecessary. And you don't even need to know what it is, although you might. Let your soul be in charge. Just set that intention. If I don't need it, if it's not necessary for me to hold it, to carry it, if it's perhaps even somebody else's stuff, you're just giving it permission to be released into the earth, knowing the earth will recycle and compost whatever you release. And then finally, let's connect all of our roots with each other. Those of you who are here live and those of you who will watch the transmission at any time, let's connect our roots to create this beautiful sacred container. And please know that as our roots connect, you are keeping your own beautiful boundaries. This is not about codependency or rescuing. This is an empowering connection, right? To create this beautiful sacred circle so that you can receive more and release more. And just breathe in all of that earth energy moving up your legs, up your whole body, cascading down into your heart as we bring the palms of our hands together. And I just ask that the circle be full of grace and miracles and enlightenment for all of you who are here. And we begin with a namaste. Namaste, everyone. All right, so the courage to be a wisdom keeper. So first of all, I want to be clear what I mean when I use the word wisdom, right? And wisdom is medicine. Wisdom is medicine that we need, medicine that all of humanity needs. Wisdom is medicine that the planet needs. And wisdom is not something that can be purchased, is not something that you can get training on. So even if you have PhDs and all sorts of training, it doesn't necessarily mean you're wise. Somebody can have a lot of wisdom and never have gone to school. Right? Wisdom is gained from experience. Hello, Katya. And specifically, as I define it in the current book that I'm writing, Birthing the Priestess Within, there's a whole section on wisdom, the wisdoming process. I'm creating that word, the wisdoming process. And how does the wisdoming process work? So first there's an initiation. And let me back up a little bit and say that I'm going to give a very concise little nugget of it today in the Facebook Live. Tomorrow in the retreat, the Divine Teacher Awakens retreat, we'll go deeper into this, because being a divine teacher is all about sharing wisdom. It is about tending to wisdom. So here it'll be a little slice of the pie, right? To give you something to start to digest and process, and to start to catalyze more of your own wisdom to be birthed in the world. So wisdom starts with an initiatory experience, an initiation, something that happens in your life. And most often it's a challenging initiation. We tend to have a much easier time with joyful initiations, although not always. So I'm going to focus on those initiations that are challenging. So you have a challenging experience, that is an initiation. And then there's a whole processing of that initiation. So there's the initiation, then there's the processing of it. And that can take years, right? It's totally your own journey. And that often includes receiving support and help, both from friends, also maybe professional help, right? Depending on the experience. And there's no shame in that. So I really want, part of me writing about this and including this in the book, well, one is because all of you who are called to the priestess path have often had many, many challenging experiences in your life. It was all training and preparation. Really, it was. And so that's one reason. The other reason is that I want to normalize this process. And the next step of processing the initiation, there's been so much stigma around that. And that is the number one reason that initiations don't become wisdom, is because of the fear of processing it. Whatever the process is, whether it's including a coach or a therapist or just your own inner work, you can't skip that. That is just part of what needs to happen, right? So there's the experience, there's the processing of it, then there's the recognizing that there was a blessing in that experience, that in fact your soul chose to have that experience, as painful as it might have been, because there is something that you were healing and learning in the process. And that step of recognition of the blessing can't happen until we process it, right? We can't rush any of this process. It happens organically. It happens as you have the courage to be in each of these stages. I do want to say that as you accelerate on your spiritual path, this becomes less of this linear stage. It all overlaps. There's this like beautiful momentum that's created. But here I just want to spell it out for you, right? So there's the initiation, there's the processing of it, then there's the recognition, like, oh my gosh, there was something really important that I learned from this. There was a blessing that I experienced from this. And then there's the integration period, where you start to integrate. It starts to become part of your life. You start to really understand the medicine that was gained from this experience. A lot of times in the integration period, there's ritual and ceremony can be helpful, so helpful, right? To acknowledge all that you learned, all that you released from the experience. And then you get to the last stage, which is embodiment, which is you're basically embodying the wisdom. The wisdom becomes part of your DNA, basically, of your presence. So that is why that can't be purchased. You can't go to a store and purchase wisdom. You can't take a training. You can read books about wisdom, but that does not replace it can't take those steps for you, right? Of like the initiation happened, then the processing, then the recognition, then the integration, then the embodiment. If you're watching this, I know you have already gone through so much of that. The benefit of naming these stages is that it allows you to know, oh my gosh, I have had all these initiations. Wow, I have spent so much time processing this one initiation. Wow, I am in the place of, I can see the blessings of the initiation, right? So I've shared many times, I should have probably said this earlier, but for those of you who are new to my work, the focus of my work is helping people to evolve their career, right? To share their soul's medicine with the world through their career. There's a lot of initiations that happen in that process. Even something as, I don't want to call it mundane, but as worldly or unspiritual as marketing, for example, right? That can seem like, ew, marketing. I don't want to do that. I really want to just share my medicine. I want to help others. I want to help humanity, on and on and on. And, most of the people that I help that are my students and clients are in wellness professions. So they absolutely have huge hearts and so much want to serve and help and inspire and uplift the world. And the world so needs that. And then it gets to marketing, right? And there's such an initiation that happens with that, because at the core of marketing is you are showing yourself to the world. You're saying, this is me, this is who I am. And in my online coaching group, I kind of distill it down to this. This is who I am. Do you want to hang out? That's what marketing is. So simple and so terrifying. So there's initiations that happen through that evolution of your career, of sharing your medicine. And now that, I taught 7th grade for almost 10 years in the Chicago Public Schools, right? Now I've been doing this work for 10 years. It's like, what? How did that happen? But I've gone through so many initiations during these 10 years of stepping into a new career, of putting myself out there. All of those were initiations that I absolutely had to go through, and that absolutely led to wisdom. There's no way, even if I had taken some fancy business training on marketing, that would not have replaced the wisdom I gained from these experiences. So for you, it's important to recognize, like, wow, all of the wisdom that you have gained already. What's interesting is that a lot of times when I see clients and students, they've gone through the initiation. Hello Sharon, they've processed it. Maybe they're already even recognizing, like, wow, yeah, I learned a lot from that experience. But they haven't gotten fully to the integration and embodiment. There's still shame, or there's still some judgment, or there's still some either of themselves or of the experience. And because of that, they haven't allowed it to fully transform into medicine, this wisdom medicine. So why am I calling this the courage to be a wisdom keeper? Is because this process takes courage. It is way easier to just not process, right? To shut down, or to not look at certain things in our life because they're too painful. Or looking at the career example, to just say, well, that's too scary. Technology is too scary for me. Or getting in front of a camera, no, I could never do that. Or, sharing my blog, no, who's going to care what I say? We give in to the fears, and we all do that at some point. But having the courage to nurture your wisdom means that you notice the fear, you have compassion and love for yourself, and you do it anyway, right? So what is the difference, though, between having wisdom and being a wisdom keeper, right? So this is the next level, which I'm so excited that I've received this calling myself, because it is a calling that the divine, the universe is sending out there, right? Wisdom keepers, we need you. And what is a wisdom keeper? So a wisdom keeper is someone who is committed to this wisdoming process, who understands the courage, the deep respect, the honoring, the humility of this process, and is committed to continuing to do their own inner journey, to develop this wisdom, to tend to it. And, so this is important, and they're committed to sharing that with the world. That's a wisdom keeper. So it's not just that we're doing this for our own healing and for our own journey, which is beautiful and sacred and absolutely needed, but it's that we're also consecrating that to the healing of humanity. So what does that mean? It means that you are committed to speaking of it, to using the vehicle of your throat to share this wisdom. And it will, I've said this many times, it will look different for each of you. Please do not misunderstand. And tomorrow in the retreat, we'll be doing, lots of Reiki and activations and going deeper into this. This doesn't mean you have to sit and tell everybody all your personal stories or, any of that, right? But it is that as you gain the wisdom, you understand ultimately that it ultimately doesn't really become part of the fabric of your being until you share it. There's something, the embodiment step of that process that I named earlier includes you share it. Now you share it this way maybe, or you share it individually with people in your life, or you could share it through your writing. But there is a sharing, an expression, an articulation of the wisdom that is needed. And that is a wisdom keeper, that we're committed. So that's why it takes courage, because the sharing of the wisdom is a whole other initiation. It's, I could have gone through that whole journey from leaving teaching to where I am now in my career. Not that, I still have way more to grow and evolve, but it's a whole, 10 years, a lot has happened. I've created a lot from that first year when I left teaching to now. All of that, I gained wisdom, but it isn't until I get to share it through my book, through the Facebook Lives, with my clients in my workshops and the retreats and all that I do, that it really, really becomes integrated in me. There's something in the sharing of it, in this beautiful, one of my teachers, Kyra, calls this the noble center. Our throat is the noble center. It's full of nobility because this is the center that communicates not just your wisdom, but communicates the direct divine knowing that is flowing through you. So the divine or the universe or God or source, whatever your label you use for that name, right? It doesn't matter, whatever resonates with you, has a specific legacy of love that wants to birth through you. Each of you watching this, everybody really, but definitely if you're watching this, there's this legacy of love that you are meant to birth, and you already are doing that. And it's 2020. This is the beginning of a decade. In the Chinese calendar, it's the beginning of a 12-year cycle. We're in this for the long haul. This isn't like, ooh, let me have this awesome 3 months or season. This is like having the stamina to continue to be beacons of light. And we are receiving so much divine support for that. So the divine is constantly sending you, specifically you, creations in your heart and your womb, whether it's divine knowing, whether it's divine ideas, divine solutions, whether it's products you're creating or new modalities that you're creating or a new way to bring healing to the world or something with the environment, whatever is being birthed through you. If it lands in you but you never articulate it, it is wasted. Not only do you not receive the full blessing of that, the world does not receive it. So we're at this point now where there's no more like, oh, I just need to wait till things are better, or till this pandemic is over, or till the election is over, or till whatever, till my house is sold, or till I feel healthier, or till my kids are older, or whatever story you're telling yourself that you can't take the steps until this, please know that is a story. And I say that with such deep respect. Of course, yes, I understand that there are real things happening in the world. That's why we're doing this. And you might not be able to take the big step that perhaps you have a vision of taking at some point, but your soul knows what is going on in your life. Your soul is not like off in la la land, like not understanding the details of your life. So if your soul is guiding you to take a step, it is because she knows you are ready for it. And it might just be a teeny little step that you're like, oh, well, what difference could that make if I share my blog, or if I post that post on Instagram, or if I go have that conversation with that person. Yet you have so much resistance. You've been putting it off for so long. Why? Because we're afraid of our power. We're afraid of the responsibility of being wisdom keepers. We're afraid of stepping into this much discipline, because it does require discipline, not in a regimented, icky way, like, oh, I have to have discipline to an outside force. Is discipline, disciple to your soul. I am committed to my soul's guidance. I am committed to the divine. I am committed to be of service. I am committed to keep growing, even though it's absolutely uncomfortable. Our ego doesn't want that. So we're going to have resistance to the little steps and the big steps. But part of the priestess calling is that we're wisdom keepers. And this is a humble role. This isn't like, ooh, I'm a wisdom keeper. I'm so awesome, you dumb people. It is not that at all. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going through this process over and over and over, and there's never an end. It's like over and over and over. And oh my gosh, I'm blessed as I share this medicine. Because that's the blessing of all of this, as scary as it is. And I shared in my blog this week, I think it was this week, maybe it was last week, I don't know, recently, I think it was last week now, about how I used to be terrified of public speaking. I'm still kind of am. I go through this like intense, like I'm gonna die right before I come on live, whether it's in person or virtually. And it wasn't like a little thing. Like I was literally terrified, right? I shared how, show and tell at school. I hated science projects where I had to stand in front of people to talk. I mean, it was like not typical shyness. It was very, very intense. And then in high school, I went through this just really painful period where I was going through so many body image things, and was literally convinced that my face was so just ugly, and it makes me so sad to, like compassion. I have compassion for myself at that stage, but it like I never wanted to be in pictures, and if somebody took my picture, I would like cut my head off of the picture. I even went through a stage where I wouldn't even look at myself in the mirror. So it was really intense. And at that point, I shared that I still wanted, when I thought about my future, I knew I wanted to help people. Like that was a really strong longing. But had I known that it was going to involve so much public speaking, I probably would have melted or something. And yet it did. And little by, I went to college thinking I was going to be a doctor when, was getting ready for medical school. And then for lots of different reasons, it was like, no, I'm going to go into teaching, which was exactly what I needed to do, the right decision. And then, of course, it's like all little by little, I kept taking the steps forward, as scary as they were. And it was in taking the steps forward that I healed. It wasn't in sitting and analyzing it or waiting for it to be perfect. When I wrote my book and I had to start doing book talks, I was super excited about it, but I was also super terrified about it. And I mean, I really remembered some of those book talks where the person was introducing me, and literally in me, I was just like, so much fear was there. And I was just like talking to myself like, it's okay, what's the worst I can, it was like really, and then stepping into that stage and opening my mouth and at some point the peace coming, because I was doing exactly the right thing. So for you, whatever the next step is, it might not be public speaking like that. That was just one example. But it might be, with my clients, sometimes it is reaching out to a venue. It is even like a Facebook post, right? Or a challenging conversation, or just letting people know what you do. Letting people know I'm a healer. Letting people know, this is what I do, right? Back to that marketing 101, right? This is who I am. This is what I do. Do you want to hang out? It's just like that simple and that challenging. So all of you here, you are wisdom keepers. And as we do the inner journey, as we get ready for our meditation, so I'm going to guide this meditation on this new moon. All right, what a perfect time. And I didn't plan that, but that's what happened, which is beautiful. My soul planned it. I wasn't conscious of it. On this new moon, right? So new moon, womb, all potential. I think of the new moon for me always brings up images of like dark soil, fertile ground that is ready for growth. It's like you've prepared the ground, right? So as we're here together, reflecting on wisdom, getting ready to do this inner journey with your soul, because your soul is in charge of the inner journey. Picture, let's all of us bring in that image of the new moon and that image of the dark, fertile, rich soil that has no limit on what can be created. And just taking some nice breaths. At the beginning of the call, we already grounded ourselves, but if you need a moment to just connect again with the base of your spine, your thighs, your knees, ankles, feet, feel that earth grounding. And let's go ahead and do our mudra of presence, all right? We just lift our arm up and we say, I am present, I am here. Let's do this again. I am present, I am here. I am present, I am here. And as you land here, closing your eyes or focusing on, something in front of you, or you can even focus on my eyes. We welcome the energy of the new moon, new beginnings, rebirth, renewal. And I invite you to see yourself on that golden path that represents 2020. The golden path that represents your highest path this year, the path that will bring you the most blessings and those you are here to serve the most blessings. It is not two different paths, it is one path. One path that blesses you the most and blesses others the most. We are releasing the path of martyrdom or rescuing. This is this beautiful golden path where you are blessed as you bless others. And as you stand on this path, notice here on September 17th how the end of 2020, December 31st, is so much closer. Like, wow, you can see the end of this year. And then perhaps you turn around and you see like, oh my gosh, look at all the months from January till now, all that has happened, all of the initiations you've gone through, all of the processing, all of the recognizing, all of the integration, all of the embodiment, all of the wisdom you've gained this year. And as you stand in this space on your golden path, see in front of you a beautiful garden. And this garden is like, there's some flowers in the back, but the garden, the spot that you're looking at is this beautiful, rich, fertile soil. It's been treated, it's been, it's perfect, it's ready to receive the seeds. It is the healthiest soil you've ever seen. You can smell the earth. And imagine that you sit down, you come down to the earth and you place your hands there, you touch this earth of this garden in your soul on this golden path. Touch the earth, feel how ready it is. And your soul is sitting next to you. And the Wisdomkeeper guides are here. I welcome the sacred grandmothers. For me, they bring the medicine of wisdom. And this is not to do anything with our biological grandmothers. This is the divine sky grandmothers. We welcome their beautiful wisdom here to this space. And as you're there with your beautiful soul, you're asking this question, beautiful soul, what wisdom are you guiding me to share with others? What wisdom are you guiding me to share with others? So again, the question is, what wisdom? Wisdom you already have. And you're asking yourself, what wisdom do I already have? It's already part of my medicine. You're guiding me to share it. And just receive the answer. Your soul always answers. And what wisdom are you guiding me to share? And then you're asking, because it is the new moon and this is a day of new beginnings, this is a day of renewal, of infinite potential and possibility. You're asking your soul, beautiful soul, what wisdom seeds are you planting on my garden? So see your soul, and maybe your soul looks just like you, right? And she's holding in her hands. And please know, of course, our soul is beyond gender. I'm just using this right now. She's holding in her hands these golden, beautiful seeds. And these are seeds of wisdom that your soul knows you've been working on, you've been processing, you've been doing all the inner work, even if you weren't aware of. And she shows you these seeds. It might be one, it might be two, it might be three. Maybe it's more. But these are the wisdom seeds that she says, okay, these are the seeds that we're going to plant right now in this soil. And you're putting them in the soil. And these are the seeds that are going to be nurtured through this new moon cycle. So they're going to be nurtured and nurtured and nurtured and nurtured. So that at the end of this new moon cycle, they are fully grown, blossoming for your own blessing and the blessings of the world. And please know, if you don't know yet what they are, or if your conscious awareness hasn't received that guidance yet, that's okay. You will know at exactly the right time. So see the seeds, and with your hands, just see yourself petting them down. Send them so much love. Like if you know Reiki, it's like you're sending, and even if you don't, it's just like you're sending healing light from your hands to your seeds. And then as we get ready to end this journey, just thanking your soul. And your soul wants to give you a gift, a transmission of light. So just imagine your soul, and again, your soul may look just like energy, or she might look like you, or another symbol. But imagine she's in front of you, and she's sending you this transmission of light. This packet of light is going into your heart. And this is this gift of light that will help as you nurture these seeds. So just receive it, and I'm sending, also channeling Reiki to your beautiful heart, relaxing your shoulders, relax your back. Just receive this transmission, this beautiful golden light. And with deep gratitude, bringing the palms of our hands together. Know that your beautiful garden is in your heart. And with deep gratitude, we bow to our beautiful soul. See your soul bowing to you. And we bow to everyone that is here live, everyone watching the transmission, whether it's today, tomorrow, 5 years from now. We bow to each other. And we end our inner journey with a namaste. Namaste, everyone. And before anything else, let's go ahead and go back to those roots, right? We connected our roots at the beginning of the gathering. So let's disconnect our roots very lovingly. So we are here, sovereign beings of love. And take some nice stretches, drink some water if that feels good. I'll burn a little bit of sage. And then I want to pull a few cards. We're done. So remember that your soul is going to continue speaking to you, guiding you, communicating with you, however your soul communicates with you. It doesn't have to be through words about this, right? So the more you can be present to receive that, the easier this will all flow. This is recorded. Jan, yes. A garden with new seeds in my heart. Yes. And I kept seeing these beautiful sunflowers. Like, I just felt like there was so much of that golden energy in the garden. So, what I was going to say is this is recorded. So if you want to go back and watch it again or just do the meditation again, it's very powerful to do that because every time you might receive more and more guidance. And just want to remind you, I know some of you already signed up for the Divine Teacher Awakens retreat tomorrow. I'm so excited, and you know, this was like a little jump start to what we will be doing tomorrow. If you're not signed up and you want to, there's still time. I think there's one spot left, and you can go to my website or go to my Facebook page, and I'll send a newsletter out today too about it. And you can read all the details of everything that it includes. I also want to say, I haven't been talking about this as much, but Priestess Novena will start next week as well. And boy, have I been preparing for that. So we have the retreat on Friday, and then Monday, Novena again, that it's a free offering to do with you, to do with me, to do together. And the theme of this is liberating your fearless inner child. So I won't talk too much about it right now, but please know if when you hear that, if you're like, well, inner child, I don't know, or like, oh, that's cool, I'll get to that at some point, or if in any way you're dismissing the importance of your inner child on this leadership journey, please know that without our inner child, we cannot step into our role as wisdom keepers, as earth angels, as leaders, as whatever you want to name you want to use. Our inner child is intricately, essentially connected to this. So it's no accident that I'm having the Divine Teacher Awakens retreat. And then after that, my soul was like, okay, then you need to do a novena, and it's going to be all about the inner child. My ego was like, what? Inner child? Wait, we're doing Divine Teacher Awakens. There should be like, the next thing should be like leadership, something like that. And it was like, that's where it needs to go. Because as soon as you step into leadership, what happens? Our inner childs freak out. You know, they're just like, or they want to know that we're going to still take care of them, that they are safe, that there's going to be fun and joy in this as well. So please know it's not optional. I don't mean the novena. If you don't want to do the novena with me, fine, that's okay. But the healing of your inner child, not just the healing of your inner child, the connecting with her. I mean, she is, when we connect with her and him, right? We have inner children. Our inner child beings, they are fearless. You know, once they know we love them, they are so creative, and they have the faith to move mountains. They are literally what is going to save the world. So we absolutely need to connect with them. So I'm so excited to be doing that 9-day journey. It's all on my Facebook page. You can do them live with me, or you can watch the replays, but it's all the novenas I've done have been transformational for me, absolutely, and this is going to be the same for all of us. All right, so let's do the decks. This is the moon deck. Since it's the new moon, I thought we would do a moon card. So let's see, what's the message for you on this new moon? there's two messages, two cards came up. I am the weaver of my reality. So spider medicine. Oh my gosh, I've been seeing so many spiders. And then what's the other one? Oh, so beautiful. I meet resistance with kindness. Look at this. So perfect. You're the weaver of your own reality. So what does that mean? It means that everything in our life is created by our thoughts. That's what it means, right? And I meet resistance with kindness. We have so much resistance to success, to being seen, and meeting it with kindness. That's what our inner child teaches us, right? If you know anything about children, whether you have your own children or you taught children or you've just observed children, that's how they respond, right? They respond to kindness and love and yes, to a structure and all those other things too, but absolutely kindness. So I meet resistance with kindness, and you're the weaver of your own reality. And let's do surrender deck. I know, Lorenza's saying spiders have been showing up. I know, spider medicine. And of course, you know, Grandmother Spider is a beautiful, amazing guide to connect with. So those of you who are resonating with spiders, look her up. All right. Love this. Surrender to receiving support and love. Allow the love and support of others in, rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. So what I'm hearing right away is, where do you need help? Where are you resisting help? Where are you pushing help away? Notice it and then have compassion for yourself and stop it. Like really. So I have these beautiful polar bears. Look at them. Surrender to receiving support and love. And I'll just do a final Crystal Angels card and then we shall be done. See what message you have from your crystals and angels today on this beautiful new moon. Citrine, so beautiful. Unnecessary worries. Release the burden of worries by giving them to God for healing and solutions. So if the word God doesn't resonate, by giving him to the universe, to source, to your higher self, to the soul. But look at this beautiful image. Oh, it's like my lights. I don't know if you can see it. So there goes citrine. There's a dove and that citrine crystal and all of that beautiful purple. So again, release the burden of worries. Like there's no, we have a, talked about this before, but there's a little bit of an addiction to worrying. Not a little bit. There's a lot of addiction to worrying in our society. And another reason our inner child helps, it's almost like it feels responsible to worry. Like it feels like being an adult includes you worry. Like that's how you prevent problems. That's how you plan. And it's not true. Worry, oh gosh, I'll do another Facebook Live about that. But worry is such a low vibrating energy. It makes it almost impossible for us to hear our soul's guidance. So this card is reminding you, you can be prepared, you can be protected and safe. It doesn't require worry for that to happen, right? Release the worry and embrace the faith and the trust and the present moment. All right, everyone, I love all of you. I'm so honored to be part of your journey, and I can't wait to see just all of the wonderful things and to feel all of the wonderful things that you're creating and the way you're sharing your wisdom with others, with the world. And I'm so excited to see those of you who are signed up for the retreat tomorrow. I'm so excited. And if you're watching this and you're feeling guided to join us, please do so. Bye, everyone. See you. Bye, Jan. Bye, Lorenza. Bye, everyone.